Hello, it is Friday. I was gonna do a vlog for the first week of July for my tarot readathon reading, but I only started the book that I'm reading for it last night. So if you missed my TBR, sorry, Murphy, are you throwing up? Murphy just like took a big, my dogs will get food from their bowls and bring them to wherever I am and eat them. And I think Murphy just scarfed down a bunch. So he was like choking on it a little bit, but like not really. It just went down the wrong pipe. Anyways, also I got this new shirt. This is Born to Read, Forced to Work. Isn't that funny? It was advertised me on Instagram and I had to buy it. So, if you missed my TBR for July, I said that I was going to do the tarot readathon and I picked my first card, which was the Justice card. And it was supposed to be a book about social issues. And so I picked The Unit by Nini Holmqvist, which is a dystopian book, kind of. And it's about this world where once you hit a certain age, I think for women it's 50, for men it's 60. If you don't have a partner or children or someone relying on you, you're considered dispensable? I don't know. But they take you to this separate home and then they do like experiments on you and will harvest your organs basically one by one and give them to people. And it's very dark so far, but I just started that last night. I'm only probably like 70 pages in. It's good so far, but that's what I'm reading for this readathon right now. Matt is out of town this weekend because he had a friend come in town, or a friend go to where we went to college. And so he and some of his other friends are going down there to hang out with that guy because we don't see him a lot. So I am home alone all weekend. I'm hoping to finish this book tonight and then pick another book so that I can get the ball rolling on this readathon. I'm also listening to the audiobook right now of A Court of Silver Flames. I have the like, what are they called? The ones that it's like a movie in your mind. I have that type of audiobook for it. It's fine so far. I might DNF this. I won't lie. I don't know if I care enough to read it, but I want to give it a fair shake. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm probably going to watch some TV while I eat. I made myself, if I can show you, it's kind of a big bowl, but a big bowl of ramen. And I have an egg in here, some spinach, and spinach, egg, tofu. That's my dinner. So I'm gonna poke around and watch something. I recently watched all of Bridgerton in like 2 days, so I really enjoyed it. I had a really great time. I'm glad I finally watched it. I don't know why I thought I wouldn't care about it, but I'm obsessed with it. I love it. It's the best thing ever. Season 2 was a little boring for me. My ranking right now is that season 3 is my favorite. Shock and awe. Season 1 is second, and then season 2 is my least favorite. I really enjoyed season 1. I really liked the chemistry between the characters. I liked Daphne and the Duke. I thought it was a great season. Duke Simon is very handsome. I really enjoy him. If you don't know what Bridgerton is, I can't help you. Google it, I guess. I liked season 3 so much because of the buildup between Penelope and Colin, which is like the couple that focuses on in season 3. I've heard people say that it's not as good as the books, whatever. I don't know. I didn't read the books and I'm not going to. So I'm enjoying my time with that. But the reason I didn't like season 2 as much, there were a couple of things that irked me. One, the main couple is Anthony and Kate, but Anthony is courting Kate's sister, and I don't like that. They got too far in the courting process for me to have been like fully satisfied with Kate and him getting together, because I could not get over the hurt that her sister would be feeling. You know what I mean? So that was hard for me. It just didn't really work for me. Also, I think that Kate and Anthony had really good chemistry, like in general. Like their hate to love stuff was really good. I really enjoyed seeing them like have glances across the room at each other. But when they kissed, I didn't buy it. And you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but like for me, that part didn't really work. Like something about their chemistry is not quite hitting the way that I feel like Daphne and the Duke had such good chemistry, like sexual chemistry, or like romantic chemistry, I guess. And Penelope and Colin, I feel like also had really, really good romantic chemistry. So again, you can tell me if you think I'm wrong and like you disagree with that, that's fine. I did have a couple things that I really, really loved in season 2, particularly there's the scene when Anthony Bridgerton is telling Kate how he feels about her, where he's like, and she's saying that she's going back to India, and he says, and that is not far enough. Do you think there's anywhere you go that could be far enough away from me or whatever? That was my favorite declaration of love. You are, what does he say? Like, you are the bane of my existence and the object of all of my desires. The best declaration of love I've ever seen. But I had a really good time watching that. So I don't know what I'm going to watch now. I might watch Queen Charlotte. I'm thinking about it. But I don't know. I will say there was a scene, I think it was also in season 2, but I could be mixing that up because, again, I watched them all so fast, between Queen Charlotte and her husband that made me cry. It was season 2. Oh boy, but did it make me cry, and I was not expecting that, so I might watch Queen Charlotte. Just because it's like the backstory of them. So, but anyways, I'm going to watch something tonight while I eat, and then I'm going to read this book and hopefully finish it. And then I will pick another card and we will do another reading. Not another reading. I will pick another book, and I will let you know what I'm going to be reading next. I'm a little sunburned. I went to the pool of a lady I work with. She's like kind of my boss. I don't know how to explain it, but it was fun. That's what I did today. And now I'm going to chill. So I will catch you when I have an update. Hello. I have just finished filming my video for my Q2 stats. I don't know if it'll go up this week or next week. I had a video that I wanted to go up this week, so we'll see if it actually does, but I haven't filmed it yet. I'm still like in the process of creating it, or like creating the script, if that makes sense. But I wanted to let you know that I did finish The Unit by Nini Holmquist this morning. It is now Saturday, July 6th, so I'm not doing the best with reading for this readathon, but in my defense, a lot of my library holds came in at the same time, and so I've been trying to like shuffle through those, but I did finish The Unit. I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I felt like it was a little repetitive at times. Like there are multiple chapters that start with the main character talking about a specific recurring dream that she has about the dog that she had before she was taken to the unit and playing with him on the beach. I also thought that what happens in this book is pretty predictable, but that just could mean that it was well foreshadowed. Although the ending did surprise me. Like it could have gone a couple ways and it went a way that I was not necessarily expecting. Although by the time it got there, I was expecting it because of how little of the book was left, if that makes sense. So I'm obviously not going to spoil it for you, but 4 stars for the unit. I think I've talked about what it's about, so I'm not going to bore you again, but I'm about to pick another card. So I just have my deck and I'm shuffling it here so I can pick my next read, and we'll see what it is. If it's in, oh, what is that? Oh, that's my book. Okay. If it's an audiobook, I'm thinking I'm probably going to DNF, A Court of Silver Flames, because that's the audio that I have right now. I'm about 11% of the way in and I don't care. So that might be happening, but we'll see what I find. I'm gonna pull a card. I've got it. Here it is. You can see it's a Cups card. What is it? The 8 of Cups. So I'm gonna look up quickly what that prompt is. Okay, so the 8 of Cups is read a book that explores moving on or embarking on a new adventure. So I'm gonna look at my TBR, if you will, and decide what I have that fits this prompt, and I will be right back to let you know. So I've taken a look at the prompt, which I believe I already told you, and I've looked at some books on my TBR, and I realized that I had a hold come in for a book that I was supposed to read a few months ago for my TBR. I don't remember if it was May or April. I think it was May, but it was The Identicals by Ellen Hildebrand, and this is about 2 sisters who are identical twins, and they have not spoken in like a decade, and for some reason one summer they decide to switch lives and just like follow what happens from there. I think I'm gonna read this, and the reason that I'm like hesitant, because I want to read it and I don't want to lose my hold since I waited for it, you know what I mean? I'm not going to officially DNF A Court of Silver Flames. I'm just gonna put it down for now and pick this up because I have that for another 2 weeks. So if I decide I wanna pick it up again at some point, I can. I'm just really not in the mood for it, I guess. And I don't know if I'm going to be. So if it returns without me reading it again, obviously I will DNF it. But I think this fits because the new adventure is like switching lives with each other. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna read it. I will let you know how it goes. I don't think it's very long, so I probably will finish it today just while I'm doing chores, because I think I'm gonna take my dog on a WALK. I don't wanna say it because he's in here, but we're gonna do that, and I will come back to you when I have updates. Do you wanna come here? Marv, come here. Do you wanna say hi? Look. Yeah. Look at the camera. Look over here. Look. This is my dog. Yeah, you're a good boy. Okay. We're gonna go, and I will let you know when I have an update. Hello, I'm back. I finished The Identicals by Ellen Hildebrand. It is about 9:30. So like 9 hours after I picked this book. I have finished it. I did listen to it as an audiobook. It was like a 12-hour audiobook, so it was a little longer than I thought it would be, but it took me about 4 hours to read because I do read on 3 times speed on audiobooks, which I understand makes me sound like a psycho. So this book, I don't think I explained what it was about because I had previously put it on a TBR. Also, I made myself a pina colada, and I think it was too strong because I feel much drunker than I expected to feel after a pina colada, but I'm persevering, okay? We're pushing through. But this book was about 2 sisters who are identical twins, and they end up switching lives. So we have Tabitha, who has a teenage daughter and lives on Nantucket Island. And when they were children, the kids basically were like Parent Trap style, split up from their parents, but they both like knew their other parent. Just one of them, they were identical twins. One of them went and lived with their mom when they got divorced. The other one lived with their dad. They lived on Nantucket Island and Martha's Vineyard, which are like across the ferry from each other. So they're pretty close in distance. But Tabitha was the sister who lived with her mom, and she's the one who's always like had it all together. So she has a teenage daughter named Ainsley. She also had a son who died when he was an infant. He was born really premature and he just didn't make it. So trigger warning for that. It's really sad. It's talked about a couple of different times throughout the book. So I'm just letting you know, like, if that is going to trigger you, I do not think you should read this book, but it doesn't trigger me. I'm fine. So that's Tabitha. And then we also have the other sister. Am I going to forget her name? I am. What is her name? Harper. My God. That took forever. It wasn't in the description. The other sister's name is Harper. She is Tabitha's twin. She lives on Martha's Vineyard. She always lived with her dad. And she has a dog named Fish. That is like her thing. And at the beginning of the book, the girl's father dies. And so they are reunited because their dad dies. At the funeral, their mom gets really drunk. And when she goes back to Nantucket Island, because their dad dies again, he lives on Martha's Vineyard. When they go back to Nantucket Island, their mom falls and breaks her hip. And so the sister that normally... Is that better? Probably. I'm so sorry I did not have my ring light on. I will not be refilming, but here we are. No, the sister who is on Nantucket Island, the mom falls down, breaks her hip, and Tabitha takes her to the emergency room in Boston, which I guess is the closest, like, medical center. I don't really know. But that means she's leaving her 16-year-old home alone. And her 16-year-old Ainsley is kind of like a shithead. Like, she gets into a lot of trouble. She's always smoking pot. She's drinking. She's like... just kind of a quintessential, like, rebellious teen, if you will. So Harper goes to the island to take care of Ainsley. And then when the mom gets out of the hospital, or, like, when the mom doesn't really need Tabitha there anymore, Tabitha goes to Nantucket Island to help fix up the house that Billy was living in. Billy is their dad. So that the girls can sell it and split the profits. So... they do a little switcheroo. They do tell everybody that they have switched lives, so it's not like they're pretending to be the other person. They're just taking a break from their normal life, which I appreciated, especially because they both have very messy romantic lives. And on Nantucket Island, no, on Martha's Vineyard, Harper was having an affair with a married man. And so, like, that all comes to a head before they switch. And then Tabitha just, like... she's just gotten out of a 4-year relationship. So, like, the girls, they just both need a break, okay? I'm saying the girls are, like, 40. But, like, you see what I mean. Like, they both just need a break from their regular lives. And it was fun. I will say, it takes about half the book for them to actually switch lives. And I was kind of, like, for the first half, like, I get we were just getting to know them, but I was kind of, like, waiting for something to happen. I also will say Harper has a connection with someone who is not, like... it's not a romantic connection, but I assumed it was going to be, and then it wasn't, and that kind of confused me. And, like, maybe I was just misreading everything, but it was this guy who used to be a surfer, but he had some sort of injury, so he can't, like, his memories are a little scrambled. I thought that was going to be one of their love interests. It is not, which is fine. But... all of that to say, I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time reading. You know, I love a sibling relationship. Oh boy. And this one was no different. I loved that they had some, like, past traumas to get over. They had some, like, sibling rivalry from even when they were, like, teenagers, when they were first deciding who was going to live with which parent. They had to get over that. They also had to, like, get over some things with their mom, who is their only living parent now. Also, trigger warning for death of a parent, obviously. But... I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time reading it. I'm glad I read it. And now I'm going to pick my next prompt. I cannot guarantee you that I will read this in this vlog. Okay? I hope so. But I cannot guarantee it because I might read a little more tonight. It depends on what I get. Because I might just watch TV. Have a silly goofy time. Like I said, it's like 9:30. It's 9:30 on a Saturday night. So in theory, I could stay up like 5 more hours. But in practice... I have made myself far too strong a cocktail, and I fear that I might fall asleep by like 11. So, all of that to say, let's do a quick shuffle of the cards. I won't face them towards me so you don't think I'm cheating. I don't really know how you could cheat. It's not like I could memorize however many freaking tarot cards there are. All the prompts that go with those. But, all right. I've picked my card, and you can see what it is. 4 of Pentacles is what this is. Sorry, I know they're shiny and like really pretty, but I don't know if you can read them because of how shiny they are. But I love these cards. So let's see what the prompt is for 4 of Pentacles, shall we? Pentacles, not tentacles. I think I said 4 of Tentacles. 4 of Pentacles, okay? Get your head out of the gutter. It says read a book with rich people drama or with wealthy characters. And I feel like the book I just read could have fit for this because like millionaires live on Nantucket. If you don't live in the US, Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard are like where celebrities have summer homes, right? Like if you live in New York City, you summer on Martha's Vineyard, okay? It's in Gilmore Girls, right? So anyways, that could have worked for that, but also the characters, I guess, were locals, so they weren't actually like the millionaires that they're talking about, but I feel like it could have fit. So I'm gonna find a book that has a rich people drama or features wealthy characters, and I will let you know what I come up with. Hi. So it did not take me that long to come up with a book because I already have a book that I got a hold in from my library, and it is The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. And I'm not sure how well this is going to fit the prompt yet again. What was the last prompt I did? Did it fit the prompt? Oh, a new adventure? I think so. The girls switched lives. That was a new adventure for them. I'm calling it. But The Lying Game is supposed to be either set at or about a group of people who set at a boarding school or about a group of people who go to boarding school. And this is in the UK. And I know that the UK is a little different than the What is happening to my neck? Do you see all these red spots? All right, I'm breaking out into hives, but that's fine, I guess. What's going on? Weird. Very weird. That's stressful. I know the UK is different than the US in schooling systems, and I know like public school means private school, maybe. So to explain this for non-US viewers, just in case, in the US, public school is free. It is public education. Everybody has access to it. There are no uniforms unless you live in a really bad part of town. Like Dallas public schools, where I went to school, there is a uniform and you have to wear certain colors. My high school did not have that, but elementary schools in my area did. And I know other high schools did, but my high school did not. I don't know why. It just didn't. I assume it has to do with gerrymandering. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. But private schools, you pay tuition to go. So like a couple $1,000s a semester. Like my husband went to private school. He went to Catholic school. And in the US, if you went to a school that is affiliated with a religion, it is automatically a private school because in the US, we have separation of church and state. Schools, public schools are funded by the state, which means that you cannot have religion in the public schools. That is becoming untrue. Not to get on a tangent, but I did see a TikTok of someone. There's been a law passed in Oklahoma that I believe they are challenging that says that you have to teach the Bible in school, or someone is trying to pass a bill that says that or something to that effect. I don't live in Oklahoma. I just saw about this. But what I think is interesting about that is like, as far as I'm aware, public schools are not, they're public places of employment, right? Like you're not allowed to ask people about their religion or like their sexual orientation or other things like that in those types of jobs for discrimination reasons. Like we have laws against that in the US. So potentially you were asking atheist teachers, right, to teach your kid your religious book and about your religion. I just feel like you wouldn't want that. Like you don't want to be taught the Bible as if it is like a novel, right? Like if you want the Bible taught in school, you want it taught as if it is like fact and God's word, which is like what Christians believe, right? But you wouldn't want someone who doesn't believe that teaching the Bible and dissecting the Bible and challenging the Bible the way that we challenge literary works in school. Maybe I'm crazy, but I find it shocking that like, I just think if they thought about it a little longer, they would realize, oh wait, we don't actually want this to happen. Also, it sets a precedent where you can teach other religious books in school, like the Quran, for example, which I know that a lot of Christian people would not want taught to their children. I I personally think it'd be interesting to learn about the Quran in school. I think it'd be interesting to learn about all these books in school, but also from an academic standpoint, to do the literal wrestling with God. What is it that Jacob does in the Bible where he breaks his heel? Is that Jacob? I could be wrong. I know that Jacob literally means the heel because he's pulled out by his heel, but I can't remember who it is that wrestles with God now. It's been a long time since I've read the Bible, but I'm just saying, I think it's odd. So I don't really understand the differences between US and UK schools. I know that I think public schools in the UK are like the rich kid schools, whereas private schools in the US would be the rich kid schools, and public schools are the schools that everyone can go to because they are publicly funded. That's why they're called public schools. They're funded with property taxes. But I don't really know how that works in the UK. So if I'm wrong about that, I'm sorry. This is, again, based on my knowledge of being in the US, but consuming media from the UK without looking into it too far. Also, I don't know why I said UK instead of UK just then. Did you notice? Did it even make a difference? I don't know. This book is about a woman who is walking her dog in the idyllic coastal village of Salton along a tidal estuary known as the Reach. Before she can stop him, the dog charges into the water to retrieve what at first appears to be a wayward stick, but to her horror, turns out to be something more sinister. The next morning, 3 women in and around London, Fatima, Thea, and Isabel, received the text that they had always hoped would never come from the fourth in their formerly inseparable clique, Kate, that only says, "I need you." The 4 girls were best friends at Salton, a second-rate boarding school set near the cliffs of the English Channel. The phrase boarding school is the only reason I'm considering this counting for this prompt, because in the US, you cannot afford to go to, boarding schools are expensive. You have to pay, it's like going to university early, or college, we call it college. But it's like private school, but you also are paying rent, which a lot of people don't do. I do know someone, actually, I grew up with someone who her parents moved away, and she wound up going to a boarding school in Dallas, which is where I'm from. And I have no idea how much that cost. I have never looked into it, but she went to an all-girls boarding school that had a day school adjacent to it. So I think she had already gone to the day school, but then when her parents moved away from Dallas, she stayed to go to boarding school so that she wouldn't have to be uprooted, which, if you're watching this, I love you, girl, but that is rich people antics. I'm telling you what. The Lying Game is going to be my rich people drama book, and we'll see how that goes. I do have the audiobook of it, like I already mentioned. This has been too long of an update, but I think I will cut it down, hopefully. But The Lying Game is the book that I'm gonna do, and I hope I like it. I'm, again, trying to read all of Ruth Ware's books that she's written because I love Ruth Ware. I read a book last month by her that I gave 5 stars yet again, so I'm hopeful for this one. So we'll see how it goes. Hello, so it's actually Monday, so I'm gonna close out this vlog. I did finish, what book was I reading yesterday? The Lying Game. Yesterday by Ruth Ware, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. It's not my favorite Ruth Ware book that I've ever read, but I did really enjoy it. And again, I read that for the prompt of rich people drama or whatever. The kids went to a boarding school. It was not super rich people drama-y, but it was really good. It was about these 4 girls who had gone to this boarding school together, and then this is 17 years, I think, since they were at this boarding school. You okay? It was 17 years since they were at this boarding school, and there is an arm or something, or a body found in, I don't know if it's a river or a lake or just the shoreline of an ocean. I'm not really sure exactly what type of body of water it is, but a body was found, and one of the girls who still lives in that town sends a text to the other 3 girls and is like, "I need you." And they all have to come, and we follow the main character, or the point of view character is this character, Isa. And so we're seeing everything through her eyes. And then the other girls, the girl who still lives in the town is Kate. And then there's also Thea and Fatima. And it's just about this thing that happened to them when they were at boarding school, and that they did. And you're just finding out about it as the book goes along. Again, I really enjoyed it. I love Ruth Ware's plotting and her writing style. Her books really work for me. I will say, of the 2 that I've read of hers that are primarily set at a school, I don't love. And I don't know if it's the dual timeline that I don't love, or exactly what about it is not really for me. The 2 that I've liked, I guess the one that I liked the least is The Death of Mrs. Westaway. And then there's 2 other ones, The It Girl and this one, that are both set at schools. The Death of Mrs. Westaway is not set at a school, but that's sort of what the common thread that I'm finding between them that I don't love as much. I also thought that the twist in this one was not as good as some of her other twists, because a lot of her books are more mystery based, like I've said, where it's not necessarily a big twist, but you're just like finding the pieces of the puzzle. And this one was like that, but I feel like it was sort of written as if it was going to be a big twist, but it was sort of predictable. Which again, I don't always hate, because I have a tendency to try to predict things, and not to like pat myself on the back too much, but like I do get it right a lot of the time. So I'm not really upset about that. I'm not upset about it at all. I had a great time reading this one. It just wasn't my favorite. But that is that prompt. That is going to do it for this portion of the vlog. Stay tuned for next week's reading, as I've already started that because it was today. And I will catch you in another video very soon. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you can see more videos from me. I do post 2 videos every week, and I will see you in another one very soon. Bye!